All right, so hello and welcome in, everybody. My name is Maria Chung Willoughby, and today is day 3 of things that affect mental health. I'm all about self loveology, loving ourselves is the best thing ever. I'm also about technology, humanities, and of course, self love. And today we're going to address appropriate technology. A lot of times, the words that we use to describe ourselves are words that depersonalize our experience and work towards those that hope to capitalize from the challenges of others. They say a lot of money is made off of other people's misery. So we want to be careful and mindful of the words that we use to describe our pains and our dealings. Some of this can't be kind of circumvented, but we just want to be mindful and try to use words that are true to our experiences versus words that are, systematically accepted. For example, anxiety. What are we really saying when we have anxiety? We need love and we need understanding. I heard another user use the word razzle, and I love it. Your words have a lot of power, so we want to be careful once again of the words that we use to describe our situations. Bully. um, let's try to actualize that. When we talk about bullies, what bullies really are someone or something that poses an opportunity to answer a question, to clarify, to self actualize. So, again, those are positive things. When we look at the word crazy, let's qualify that word a little better. Instead of crazy, when someone says that, understand that what they truly mean is that it's something that's being misperceived. And again, it's an opportunity to clarify. Flawed, what they're really saying is that you're human. Goofy, what they're really saying is that you're fun loving. When we talk about mental health, it has an ominous meaning behind it. But really, all mental health is emotional health, and we're all humans and we have emotions. And it's just a matter of addressing those emotions appropriately. A lot of times, when we have things that are pent in that we don't let go of, those things cause those types of issues. So, basically, what I want to do is encourage everyone to, share what are some things that may have been said to you, A through Z. And if you want to create your own list at home and do this as an exercise for yourself, you definitely can. And how can you reclassify those words appropriately so that it accurately describes you? I was in a live the other day, and a young lady stated to me that she was schizophrenic. And when you hear schizophrenic, oh, you think, oh my gosh, split personality is crazy and so forth. And she says she's paranoid about a lot of things. So that's another word that we can look at, paranoid. What that really means is that you're cautious. And each of us, we have experiences that make us more cautious. We've seen a lot of videos, especially on TikTok, where people say, um, hey, if you're a female, don't feel like you're paranoid. If you have a feeling that someone's following you, if you have a feeling that, your gut is telling you it's ill intent, walk away. There are lots of situations where people, especially women, because traditionally women are changing now, but traditionally women are taught to be nice, are taught not to speak up, not to be aggressive. And so you're being nice and you end up in a situation where someone's trying to take advantage of you. I saw a posting where there was a woman that was in Walmart, and there was a guy that what he did was he intentionally bumped her cart to see how she would respond. If she responded with, "Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me," then that shows that she's an easy target, and so she's the one to most likely internalize and to take the blame. So she's going to be someone that's easy to target, follow, or take advantage of. He followed her out to her car, and so forth and so on. But if you respond a different way, if someone bumps into you and you don't say, they bump into you, you don't take the blame for that. You kind of keep it moving. So again, we have to be careful about, how we classify ourselves. Don't be, when it's the word paranoid is used, it means that you are being cautious based on your experiences and things like that you've had. If you have experiences where maybe you've been misclassified as something, or there was a word that you used that you had that was used that you had an aversion to, think about it. What is it that's really meant? I think in the society that we live in, a lot of times what happens is that, um, there are certain words that are used that are buzzwords, so that, no matter what's said, you just get the, idea, like the word crazy. You just said, okay, the person's crazy. Then it doesn't qualify that. Crazy could mean anything. And I can use a personal experience. I remember one day I was going to go pick up my truck. I had to go pick up my truck. I didn't really feel like leaving the house. You guys know my hair is natural, and when it's natural wet, it's like looks like a Jerry curl. Afro curly is not even afro, it just looks like a Jerry curl. And so I just wanted to get out there. So I threw something on like I normally do, walked on out, and I walked down the back street to go to where I need to go to pick up my car. And I heard this man say, "She crazy," and I was like, what? You know, and normally I wouldn't say anything. I would keep going, but I felt like I said, "Sir, why would you say something like that? You're crazy." And he was actually on the phone prior to that talking to a female about, "Oh, you got to give me $20 to pick you up." I said I was going to be there, but you got to give me $20. And then he was talking about paying his cable bill and so forth. So a lot of times, when we see things like that, those words, they can be hurtful and they can be very damaging, but we have to qualify that. What is it that they really mean? Why are they saying this? And if you were to look at them with the same eyes, what would you see? And a lot of times when we see people that use words like this, um, it's easier for everyone to understand because socialization, we're all kind of socialized to think this way or speak this way. Thank you, Black Jesus, for the finger heart. I appreciate it. To speak in a certain way. And once we corral everybody into mental health automatically means, okay, so we need a diagnosis, we need medication, we need treatment. All these things cost money and go into capitalism. But the real truth about it, and I've spoken on this a long time ago, is that we need love. When we talk about mental health, it's emotional health. We need to deal with something emotionally that we have going on. And usually all of it leads back to a lack of love and understanding. So if we can love each other, let's do that. And most of us let's love ourselves. So when we find words, let's classify them. One of the things that I used to say a lot was bully, because I couldn't think of anything else. But really, what a bully really does, and that's one thing I fight against, because it does impact people and make people feel a certain way. There is a such thing as bullies, but what's the core root of what they're doing and why they're doing it? The core root of what they're doing and why they're doing it is because, they have a misperception. Just like crazy, there's a misperception. It needs to be, clarified. And what they're doing by bringing it to you is giving you an opportunity to clarify that. And as a person, as I stated, that I'm a loner. I'm to myself. So I don't even know. I happened upon a post about me where someone got upset, got in their feelings, and so they blocked me and they made a post about me. And had I didn't know that I wasn't the wiser. I didn't know that anything was wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I happened to go because I realized that comment disappeared and I saw what happened. And it was just something small. They felt that because I addressed the spelling, that they felt that it was they felt that I was calling them dumb. I clarified that no, I would never do any of that. I would never say anything abusive about anyone. But as I went on and did more research, I found out that this actually is the appropriate spelling, and I posted on that individually because it's part of my learning and growth process. So sometimes when people are perceived as, and our perceptions too, we need to watch that. When people are perceived as bullies, it's just that they're easily hurt and they're very sensitive. And everybody behaves and acts that they do for a reason. And our goal is always to grow ourselves and to be true to ourselves. And so we want to make sure that the words that we're using are true. I recently started using depression and sadness and anxiety and mental health because it may be a few upfront reasons I started using it and a few background reasons too. Some of the upfront reasons that I started using it was because, I've never felt like this before. And then two, being all alone, you want people to interact with you. You want people to understand. And if I use these words that everyone else understands, perhaps I could get some support on that. But the truth is, it's the same thing of when it's the same thing, classification, when you think about like rap music, right? And when it first came out, it was so positive and good. Even when we listen to Too Short, Life is Too Short. And at first I thought it was a bad thing, but when you go and look at the lyrics, all of those lyrics to that 1989 song, I think it was, are positive. They were encouraging. It was telling you, hey, life is too short. You need to get out there and get something. They were to get out there, get out and get something before Outkast even had a get out and get something, right? And so, but what happened was, again, the capitalism and the government changed it so that, hey, this is the type of music we want you to put out, and we're going to pay you to put this type of music out. But it was in essence selling your soul, selling the soul of a people, because now every time you turn on the radio, I have my Pandora on a mixed station. Every time there's a rap song comes on, there's sex, there's cursing, and that's not what a rap originally was. And that's not what being melanated is all about, either, and what they did, and they probably thought, well, I'll just do this one time. I really need the money. And then once I get out, but it doesn't work like that, because what you say and what you do and what you support by what you say and what you do and what you allow, it 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 influences people, especially when it's broadcast over airwaves and it's popularized, and if people have money to support it, and boost it up, that's what happens. So we have to be careful about that, and I can't say that I am. We have to know ourselves and know our intentions and our desires, and know when we're being tricked and finagled. And with that, the music like that that's talking about killing, I think, where was it, Vish? Somebody, I forget what it's called, some type of music where that's all they really talk about, and the guy, bunch of people have died behind that. Music affects our moods, and what we speak and what we expose ourselves to expresses our moods, and changes, influences our moods. I remember listening to Beyonce's song about, I remember some girl, it was a Bonnie and Clyde song, on the run, I'll give up my life for you, something. And it's so beautiful when I saw how they sang it to each other. But when I first heard it, I was like, why would you support a song about killing and, doing crime or whatever? Then I remember I saw this black girl, she was just like, oh, that's my jam, that's my jam. And so I listened to it, I was like, okay, because you want to fit in, but, it doesn't sit well. The words don't sit well with the spirit. The music sounds good, the sounds of the voices sound good, but the words and what they're supporting do not sit well with my spirit. And again, children are listening to these words. Innocent people that are caught unaware are listening to these words. I get on TikTok, I go to duet a video because I like the music and I don't really know what it means. And the song was like Blue or something. Then I look up the lyrics and I'm just like floored, because I'm like, what? And then I have people liking the video for the wrong reason. No, I'm not, I'm not down for that. And I turn my DMs off for that reason, but I'm going to turn them back on for the same thing, that interaction is important. Like I said, interaction, whether it's interaction that's for, that's in alignment with what your goals and your morals are, or that's not, it's important, because interaction moves you. It either moves you to address it and to clarify it and to make a change within yourself about it, because we live in this world with other people, and not everybody has the same thought processes that we have. Not everybody has the same goals that we have. So we definitely want to make sure, when we're speaking, when we're using words, we're using words that are true to, what our situation is. Um, the thought of the day, just so I know, just so that you know, is that knowing a person is like music. What attracts us to them is their melody. And as we get to know who they are, we learn their lyrics. And the only way that we can get to know who we are, who people are, and let people truly know who we are to use words that truly define us. Not, words that group everybody into the segment, because not everybody is the same. You know what I'm saying? Um, so when we look again at, bullies. Let's look at it as, people, places, things that pose an opportunity for us to clarify, that pose an opportunity to dig within ourselves and hit the pain points and release them. Because we don't feel bullied unless, we have pain points associated with it. Now, I know there's extreme forms where there's physical bullying and, there's continuing badgering where there's no doubt that, hey, this person does not mean me any good. But yeah, but it's an opportunity. Every conflict that we have should be looked at as an opportunity. Yeah. So if you have a chance, that's a helpful exercise. And this is Mental Health May. Like I said, for me, I was using that, but now that, every day is something new that I learn about myself and something that I want to, remedy. So, maybe I won't use that anymore. But as it stands, when you use that, more people, come on board and see. Just to follow up, I want to say thank you to all the people that have watched my streams across the board, whether it be TikTok, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Kick. I have other social media that I don't really use, but those are the ones that I mainly use right now. I think on May 1st, on day one, I had a 20 questions, and I met the goal of 20, but for those of you that don't know, I get really exhausted at some point where it's like I can barely stay awake, and that happened. But some of the questions I got were really helpful. I got from TGH, BVC, and Delamite, and IDK2 on YouTube. I will address some of those questions that I wasn't able to address live. But yeah, I did see you, and you were definitely um, appreciated on that. One thing about the lives as well, because I know YouTube is a little more sensitive. I do check profiles of people that visit. If there's anything illicit or explicit visuals, I will block or remove, but it's a friendly block or remove just because, that's how you express yourself and that's what you choose to do. But as it stands, me being on a healing and growth, journey, it's not appropriate for me, and for anything that I'm doing. But you're always welcome to come back under another name. Again, I'm open to any questions, but I do not um, post graphic content and never have. If you have any questions about that, feel free to ask. Um, and I believe in completely open. So if you bless me or grace me with some interaction and some sharing of your experiences, and we're able to bless each other with that. Do know that I'm completely open. We can't heal without openness. My commitment to you for participating is that I will never say anything hurtful or harmful, and you will be able to find all of my items on social media. If you do inadvertently find that you have an aversion to anything, let me know, and I'll address it immediately. I had someone on YouTube I consider this person a friend of mine, virtually, and I remember I said something to them and it just seemed so innocuous to me. And he was really hurt by it. And he let me know. He let me know how hurt he was by it. And people let you know that they're hurt different ways. Some people will just say, "Hey, I'm hurt." Other people will block you and make videos videos about you that, insinuate things that are not true. And they will review all your stuff to see if they can pick out little pieces that was somehow validated. But like that old 70s song said, "Don't ask my neighbor, come to me. If you see anything, you don't have to, but if you see anything, come to me, ask me about it. My goal here is to connect and to heal. um, Eventually I will be sharing things about my employment and things like this. That's a very touchy topic for me because I've gone through a lot with that. um, yeah, and also know that I try to stay live for about an hour a day. My battery drains pretty quickly, especially when I'm actually engaging with someone. So if we engage, it'll be like an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. And if I close abruptly, it's not because I'm being, that I'm gonna go be like be rude. It's just that my internal battery. I'm an introvert, so my battery, you know, you know, when I interact, an hour of interaction is probably the most that I've ever had, and basically here on live stream. So yeah, so it's a great exercise. Sadness, another way to redefine sadness is just need for motivation. So when I think about myself and all the fingers point back to me over the last few days when I talked about um, I was sad and I have sadness, anxiety, and depression. But no, I needed some motivation. That's where the sadness came from. You've been through a lot, like I said, broken down and tired. And then anxiety, I needed love. I needed somebody to just, to know that I wasn't alone, that somebody else experiences the same. Depression, and again, this need for love. And that's what it's all about. And the best medicine that you can give someone, people say, "Oh, it's so hard sometimes," it's a hug, for me. So if you see me out in the street, I'm okay with it. Just don't come at me creepy. But yeah, so just wanted to share a little bit with you today. And one of my favorite quotes is perseverance. A river water cuts through a mountain not because of its power but because of its perseverance. And I've definitely persevered. I had past employers tell me that. I remember when I was going through the legal system and transitioning from one job to the other, one of my coworkers, I guess it broke his heart. He said, definitely, because whatever I went through there, and then next thing you know, I'm pulled to this other place, and then I'm going through this here. And he's just like, And he saw this. We weren't friends or anything like that. And he couldn't even look me in the eyes. He says, well, you definitely have perseverance. And God bless you, sir. And I love you. And thank you for that. I always remember. I won't remember your name. And just so you know, things that I've gone through, it seems like it's a repeat, like literally a repeat, a cycle. Some people that I meet, it's like I'll go to another job, I'll meet the same person, literally look the same, everything, same position. And it's a cycle, and it repeats itself. And I guess God wants me to speak up about some of the things that, I've been through. And I will, I will. I plan on doing a whole like a curriculum vitae, but a video version, starting from little all the way through. And the main focus will be employment and all the thing around it, because that's the only thing that I have to have all the time in my life. If you have an opportunity, do stop by. I have an online store with just some things that I've made, cute little things. Um, if you scan the QR code, it'll take you there. And I guess I should post the link. I guess I could post the link. Yeah, but if you scan the QR code, it'll definitely take you there. And you could view some of the things. And all of these things are true to me. All of these are um, created by me. I think one is like AI created, but everything else is, like hand designed by me, with my heart. And I feel like this, and that same girl that talked about that, she told some girl her artwork was trash, and it wasn't. It turned out to be a 16-year-old girl. But the thing about this is that I'm genuine. For me, it's not about money, it's about support. And support isn't financial support. Support is just showing that you appreciate my thought process, you appreciate, authenticity, and you appreciate healing. And the only way that we can heal is that we be open. If you can go to Balenciaga and spend $2,000 on recycled bottle shoes that literally look like somebody took it out of the trash and circled duct tape around it, you can definitely, support something that's originally created and designed, that documents the process or progress that a person is making in their life, and that may actually mirror some of the things that you personally go through yourself. So I want to take a little time, because I've been 24/7 on, was it Kick, only because there I can go to sleep on the camera, everything, and sometimes, I just need background company. I've always had lives in the background. So I'm going to look at some of the comments and things that I got here, the DMs. I saw some of them, they were little, and I'm going to address things that we're saying here. Thank you to Jay on Kick that stopped by last night, Mike that stopped by and gave me a favorite, from Lebanon. So, and I am aware that some of these people are unscrupulous. I am aware, but still giving love, because when we give love in this universe, I do believe when we give love and we're consistent with it, that eventually it'll come back. And if it doesn't, it wasn't because you weren't consistent in what you did. There's WHTBOY, White Boy, I think 389, Davy, ATL 31, and Jay from Hawaii. He was on his way to the gym. George D. Mason. Whoops. Comments by John, Nub, Josh, Stewart, F with Vegetables, Rock, Clarsom, Joe Brown, Samuel, Derek, Ariaga. What can I read today? Guggen, Marco, Ryan. A bunch of people came by, so I really appreciate that. Diggy said good morning. So good morning to you. And the reason not to Enquadri favorited me. Jared asked how it's going. I was probably knocked out or on the way to being knocked out, so I didn't see it, but it's going pretty good, Jared. Thank you for stopping by. Larry says hello. Hi, Larry. Yeah, but there's a lot. But the reason I mentioned perseverance, and yesterday I talked about, things that sometimes trigger your mental health and barriers. Like I said this morning, my system, I had to keep troubleshooting the monitors. They kept going out and coming back in. And I literally did that. It feels like 20 times. But we have to persevere. Whatever it is that we have that is in our life that is challenging us, we have to take the time to, persevere. And sometimes we do have to give up, or at least divert our attention elsewhere, because it was there. Or take a break, give yourself 5 minutes to chill out and overcome it and then come back, but this, I felt like it needed to be done today. Yep. So again, if you get a chance to visit, also if you have the opportunity, visit the Art of Good Incorporated. And that Incorporated is spelled all the way out. It's an organization that I put together, and I'm going back to the base on that, and I have two small businesses, and what I'm doing now is I'm going to the base root of it. We're going to start more organically, and what I'd like for you to do is go over to that site, go to the discussions tab, and there's a needs exchange forum. Go there, list 3 things that you need, and and if you see that someone else, hopefully we get enough people eventually where if you're listing 3 things that you need and other people are listing 3 things that they need, they can find somebody, a stranger will find one thing in that list they could supply. It could be something as, I need a hug, or I need a word of encouragement. That way we're building a community of people that love and support each other, and will continue to do so. um, Also, on my journey to self-improvement, I you know, especially being older now, I can't live in a vacuum. There are lots of things that I want to do and I can do, but take a lot of time to do. But perhaps, if you're a college student, or if you're a person that likes technologies, humanities, and self improvement, self love too, perhaps you'd be willing, for a reference or something like that, to do one small thing. Let's say, you know, I need to find somebody that, has a computer system where they actively have 5 different monitors hooked up to it, and that it runs pretty smoothly with TikTok live stream. And if you know somebody like that, provide the information. Or it may be something simple, something simple like that, where it just requires research. You could look up and see, but I just don't have time to research because I'm you know got other things I need. I'm trying to improve myself, all the way around. I told you guys I have a 12 circuit. I didn't make it because last night I didn't go to sleep until after 5 o'clock. And 5 o'clock is when I was supposed to start my planning period. But the thing is that, you know, I talked yesterday to someone, and we talked about sometimes you have to lose to win. Like Fantasia said, sometimes you have to fail to win. And when you fail, and I have failed, trust me, I failed quite a few times. When you fail, it's the opportunity. You know how it felt to try, and the resilience that's needed, that perseverance. Resilience takes it a step further. Perseverance is you keep trying, but resilience is like, okay, you took a breath, you fell, you bust your butt. Now we're going to get up and try again, and you might fail again, and you might fail again, and you might fail again. And sometimes it takes quite a few failures to get to success, but one thing that I can guarantee to you about me is that I am authentic, I am true, I'm a good person, whole and whole, through and through, no matter what, you know, what may be contorted. But you can bring it to me and I'll address it. I promise you I will, because my goal is to address everything in my life. And my biggest issue right now, like I said, is the employment issue. I really need to address that because, you know, there's a lot of nefarious things that happen in regards to employment, and I think that's the way the most of the world works. But I don't operate that way. I don't. I don't. I don't. And I don't ever want to get to a point where I am out of desperation. So, um, yeah, most definitely. So, if you have an opportunity, the exercise for today is to make a list of 20 things. Well, not 20 things, make a list A to Z of words that have been used to describe you, or words that have a negative connotation, or that when somebody says it, you might not know exactly what they mean, but it ain't good. Jot those down and then write words that are true to you, true to your experience, or true to a general experience. So we don't cloud ourselves with that, because when we do, we put ourselves in a place where we're supporting, not loving each other, but putting into the hands of others. And to others, it's just a job, you know. We want it to be more than a job. That's where actual, real, true humanity comes in. We want to support and care and grow each other, And sometimes it's hard. I know people have kids. I know people have, a lifestyle that they want everybody to see. But, if we can be as real as we can, let's stick to the truth as much as we can. And there is no such thing as can't. You can, Sometimes it just takes us a little longer to get there. And sometimes we may not have all the tools and resources to get there. We may never, and that's why we need each other, right? But anyways, I love you. I'm gonna go on to the next thing on my list of things to do. Hope you have a great day. If you get a chance to stop by. Goodbye for now. I think it's telling me there's no audio. Are you tripping right now? I know they're not tripping. No, it's not telling me there's no audio. You see? You see? But it's okay. Oh my God.